Hi, this is Mason, and I absolutely love coffee. I've been making pour-overs for the past 6 months, but they were never coming out quite as delicious as I wanted them to be. But I think I figured out what I was doing wrong, and this is the fix for it. My beans today are going to be from Counterculture. It's called Hologram. It's an update of the Mocha Java flavor profile. Usually I use Grace Note, but I happen to be out of stock today. I think my setup is pretty typical. I'm going to be using about 25 grams of sifted ground beans with a fairly fine grind, or I like to say medium fine grind. I sift at 250 microns, get rid of the fines, get rid of some of the bitterness. I'm using a Bonavita kettle, going up to, it's programmed for 203 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't think anything outlandish here. Also using about a 15-to-1 water to bean ratio. Also fairly typical. I'm going to bloom the coffee with twice as much water by weight as the grounds. So I think I come in here about 24 to 25 grams. I'm going to put in 50 grams of water for 30 seconds before pouring the rest of the water in. So the issue that I've been having as I was doing my pouring was that everything that I read on the usually reliable internet had said to focus on pouring from the kettle in concentric circles. And while I think that's fine for the initial pour where you're just blooming the coffee, where that bogged me down was getting enough water through the grounds when I'm doing my actual my full pour. So here in the initial pour, I'm just filling up about 50 grams, a little extra, and then I'm going to start the clock. However, for my main pours, what I was finding was that it was taking much too long for me to get my water through the filter. And here's an example of how I was pouring for my main pours with this method. I was kind of spiraling outward. But what I've realized is that that is not what is meant by doing concentric circles. This is back to the one that I was doing earlier. What we need is much smaller little spirals moving around the filter. And what I found is instead of having the filter fill up as it did in that previous little clip. Here's my old method again. You can see how quickly the filter fills up. And then at this point, you've got your grounds swimming in the water, which is not ideal. But by using these smaller little tiny spirals around the edges, going into the middle every now and then, instead of having to stop and wait for the water to drain before pouring more, you can pretty much go continuously for a much shorter amount of time. To be honest, I'm not sure why the water drips through faster using this method. And you can see I had to do a quick pause here at about 1:15. But overall, I've taken the pour through time from maybe 3.5 to 5 minutes at some, depending on the amount of grounds, to about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and then I'm getting the water to drip all the way through in less than 3.5 minutes, which is kind of which is what we want, because we don't want too much exposure to hot water, which is going to start extracting more tannins and bitterness. So you can see I'm done pouring by before 2 minutes. I'm dripping slowly at 3 minutes. I'm ready to pour soon thereafter. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope your pour-overs go great. And what do people say when they drink coffee? Cheers. All right, there we go.